was little, we lived in a pretty bad school district, and both my parents were self-employed, so they made the decision to homeschool me. From the time I was 14 or so, my mother and grandparents had their own businesses, so I helped them with customer service and sales, and I didn't have any real plans to go to college. No one else in my family had, and they were all doing okay, so I never even really thought of it. Then when I was 18, we moved to Santa Rosa County, and when we went to the school board to see what I'd have to do to finish up my home education, the director there asked me if I'd ever thought of going to college. I told her I couldn't afford to, and that I hadn't planned on it, and she told me that I could dual enroll at UWF and get at least some of my general education out of the way. Kind of a test drive of higher education without going into debt to try it out. The thing is, she thought I wasn't eligible for any kind of financial aid because I'd been homeschooled. I didn't really want to take her up on it until I found out that UWF offered a Japanese language course. And since I was really interested in Japanese culture, I decided to take that class, and I did well in it, so I took the second level the next semester. I still didn't plan on going to college and getting a degree, because I didn't want to start something and not be able to finish it just because I couldn't afford it. For 3 semesters, I delayed my homeschool graduation in order to take dual enrollment classes at UWF. And then I talked to the financial aid director at UWF. And it turned out that not only was I eligible for financial aid, even though I'd been homeschooled, my grades while I'd been at UWF were good enough to qualify me for 100% Bright Futures. That was wonderful, and I took some classes then, but it still really wasn't enough to cover the cost of my education, because my parents' family situation and money situation wasn't doing so great, so they couldn't really help me with extra living expenses. And then Georgia Major, one of the financial aid officers, told me about the Bank of America scholarship. With her assistance, I was able to apply for that aid, and I was able to not only earn my bachelor's degree, but I also got to spend 2 semesters on study abroad in Japan for my international studies major. Others have helped me along the way, including the Panhandle Tiger Bay Club and its Pat Lloyd Scholarship, which helped me with my dual major, adding a focus in print journalism. I wanted to participate in this luncheon because, quite frankly, there's no way I'd have been able to afford to become the person I am today without scholarships. I've traveled halfway around the world, meeting interesting people and interacting with radically different cultures, and also had the chance to become more involved on the UWF campus through my work with the Voyager. And all those opportunities have been presented to me because I was able to pursue a real college experience paid for by scholarships. I want to thank each and every one of you for your generosity. You've made amazing things possible for me and for other students like me.